Hello everyone, welcome back to MalStorm Gaming. My name is Malachi Gardner, and today I'm going to be unboxing a copy of To the Death by Brian Garber. This review copy of Brian Garber has been given to me by the publisher. I hope you all enjoy the video.
Alright, so I have a copy of To the Death here, still in shrink, and similar to Puzzle Dungeon, which is the other game I was unboxing today by the same designer, it has this pixely, kind of retro NES type art, which I do like. Again, I can see if you wouldn't like it as much, but I do enjoy it, and as I understand, it has all been done by the designer, which is also kind of cool. So let's take a look at the back. Oh, it's interesting. Alright, so it's kind of hard to see. You know what, I'm just going to take off the shrink first, and there's a little rip here already. Alright, so with the shrink off, we can read this better. So it's 2 players for 15 minutes. 1 player is 30 minutes, ages 13 and up. This game was funded on Kickstarter on July 22nd, 2019 by 237 generous backers. All contents by Brian Garber, 2019. Alright, so let's open this. And this is a bigger box than Puzzle Dungeon. It's still not huge. So we have some more art there. Cool. Alright, so in here we have a rulebook. Alright, so have a bunch of things here. Alright, so let's see how many pages. And again, these are small pages. Alright, so there actually are no page numbers. But there probably isn't too much. And then we have, again, some more achievements, just like in Puzzle Dungeon. So, defeat each monster, king, and challenge. So we have all of these, and there's quite a few. And then we have defeat each monster and win it with each hero. Their page. As you can see, there's quite a few monsters, kings, and heroes. Yeah, I do kind of like the idea of having achievements in the back of the rulebook. I kind of like it when designers do that, because then you can just try to do whatever the achievements are, and it can give you something else to do, even after you've played a while. So we have 2 little packs of cards in here. Oh, there's something else. Let's see. Looks like more achievements. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is a full page of different achievements. Oh, wow. Alright, so as you can see, there's a lot of achievements, much more than in Puzzle Dungeon, so you can do that. If you wanted to try to do all the achievements, that'd probably take you a very long time, but that's cool. So let's open these up. Alright. Oh, that's interesting. I think this is a character for Puzzle Dungeon. So that's kind of cool. So if you have both games, you have an extra character for Puzzle Dungeon. I wonder if we're going to see anything else that carries over. So I'll set that aside. Cards, again, pretty good quality, about the same as Puzzle Dungeon. I think this is backwards. So we have some player reference cards. So this is player ability reference, and then we have hero ability reference, and we have 2 of those. Then we have a near and far tracker, which in this game you have, each player has 2 rows of units, and the positioning of them allows them to do different things. So you can see here, heroes in this area are up arrow, which is near. Near heroes may attack near. Actually, that sword is melee attack near enemies and range attack any enemy. And then when you're far, heroes in this area are far. Far heroes may range attack any enemy. So if you're up front, you can attack anyone. If you're in back, you can only attack with range. But of course, if you're in front, you can only you can be attacked by anyone, and you can attack anyone. So there's positives and negatives to each thing, and different heroes have different abilities based off of that they can take advantage of where you are. All right, then we have an enemy ability um, trackers. Then we have 2 to 4. All right, 5, 7, 8. So these are for just keeping track of which abilities are active, as there are some abilities that will stay active for an entire turn. You've got 4 of those. Then you have enemy hit point trackers. Alright, so on the first side, there's 1 through 9. On the other side, you have 10 through 18. And you have 4, 5, 6 of those. And now, the hero damage cards, you have 4 different classes of heroes. So you have menders, you have fighters, you have champions, and then you have magicians. And you're going to be able to equip them with these different cards. So instead of the enemies where they just have a generic thing, life tracker, your life trackers will actually give you abilities. So if you're at 6, you have no special abilities, but when you have 5 hit points remaining, this hero has +1 lightning bolt, which is skill. So the more damage you take, the stronger you will actually be, which I think is kind of a cool mechanic. And there are 4 total for each class. So 2 double-sided damage cards. So there's a little bit of customization that you can do for your heroes, which is nice. And now we're going on to the heroes. So we have a ton of characters. So we have War Priest, Monk, and these are also double-sided, okay? So we've got a War Priest, and then on the other side you have Rune Priestess. And they each hero has some stats. Their class is listed right there. So this is a Mender, which are kind of like the healers. And then you have 3 different abilities on each character. Alright. So we have the Monk, or Inquisitor, Guardian Angel, or Shaman, alright, Scholar, or Plague Doctor, Enchanter, or Dreamer, Brewer, or Apothecary. Alright, so I'm not going to go through all of them, but know that you have a ton of different characters. Houndmaster, Gambler, and unlike Puzzle Dungeon, where you have Kickstarter and then retail copies of the game, all copies have the same content. So you don't really miss out on anything there. Alright, so now we have monsters. And these are actually the kings, or the champions. And so these are tough monsters, the boss monsters you're going to have to fight. So you have your stats up there, and then you have some abilities. And we have quite a few of those. And alright, so now we're going to the monsters here. So monsters are, sorry about that, very similar to the bosses, except they are weaker, and they have these skull abilities there. And what those do, I think they're really interesting. When you're fighting against this enemy, for example, the Salt Wraith, you have all of these abilities here, but you also have this ability. And then when this guy dies and you fight a new monster, this skull ability is still going to be in place. So the monsters you fight near the beginning of the game will actually affect the monsters you fight at the end of the game, which is kind of cool. There's a lot of different combinations there. So we have a ton of monsters. And again, I'm not going to read through all these because this would take a very long time, but Clockwork Dragon, Captured Troll, Basilisk, Zombie, because every fantasy game ever must have a zombie. Void Witch, Sphinx, tons of Phoenix. I like Phoenixes, they're cool. Lizardmen, Griffin, Goblins, fighting cacti, sorts of crazy things. Oh, okay, so actually now we're moving into, yeah, I think these are the scenarios. So you can just play, for the solo variant, you can just play normally, just against waves of monsters, or you can take one of these 10 scenarios, which will add some flavor text and some specific rules on setting it up. Yeah, so in the single player mode, you're going to be fighting against those monsters I was looking at. In the multiplayer mode, you're going to actually be playing against an enemy set of heroes controlled by another player. Alright, so now we actually have another set of cards with the same 4 suits that we found in Puzzle Dungeon. So they have some similarities as they both heavily revolve around manipulating a deck of 4 suits numbered 0 through 8. Alright, we've got more monsters here. I think I already looked at those. And then we have another thing here. So, let's see if there's a note. These heroes, monsters, and monster kings were created by the backers of the To the Death Kickstarter campaign. If you'd like to add your own cards to the game, visit my Etsy store, and then there's a link to his store. So these are all backer created content, and then you can actually go to his Etsy store and have him make some more custom cards specifically for you. So we'll rep here. Let's add and look at this. Alright, so little note. And then we have a bunch more heroes. We have Andrew, fireman. Alright. So, a bunch of things. What is this? The Power Woman? Werebear. Alright. There's a clown right here. Ah, Felix the Rabbit. Fencer. Is that a squirrel or a raccoon? I think it's a squirrel. Alright, there's a cat. Alright, is that a... What is that? Huh. So a mermaid. So there's all sorts of crazy things that were added by backers. And if you didn't want any of these, you could keep them separate, I suppose. I don't see why you would, but you could. Kay the Scholar, so this is also in Puzzle Dungeon, or a very similar type thing. Oh, jackalopes. Those are cool. Bartholomew. Sam. Alright, there's another fireman. It's a normal cleric. Waitress. Oh, there's another side to them, but yeah, so there's just a ton of different things that people added. Alright, and then we have a boss here. And then more bosses. There's another cleric, or here's an anti-hero. Or, wait a minute, how does that work? It's a king. Okay, so at the beginning of the first enemy turn, defeat any hero and move this enemy to your far area. As a hero with the defeated hero's class, put a random monster king from outside the game into play. During the hero turn, if this hero hasn't activated a printed ability, you may not activate other heroes. Okay, this is really interesting. So it is a monster who becomes a hero after, like, killing one of your other heroes, and it has some disadvantages to it. That's an interesting idea. Be interested in seeing how that plays out. And then we have more normal, or closer to normal. Alright, so we actually have some shadows. This is interesting. So Shadow of Fear, Shadow of Sloth, Shadow of Hate. Huh, it's interesting. So there's tons of different monsters and heroes, the game boss, also known as the dungeon master or game master. Yeah, you'll be able to. Now I know why these I know why the achievement list is so long now. There's just a lot of different monsters and things to use. So, alright. Haunted Organ, Siren, Reaper, Bones. Saber-tooth hamsters? Oh. Oh, it's a blue robots. Looks a little bit like Mega Man, maybe? Librarian. Fred. Angry Ape. Ace of Flame. Looks like a Pokemon. I don't remember. I don't know which one it is. I don't really know Pokemon that well. Killer Squirrels. Hellhounds. Oni. Okay. So, there is a lot of cards inside To the Death, but it all comes in this little box here. Oh, there's a little more here. Alright, same stuff that came in the other one, but it's kind of cool. So there's a ton of different cards that came in To the Death, and I am really looking forward to playing this game. And you can expect a full playthrough and a review. And but for now, I hope you all have a great day and happy gaming.